Hi, I'm Jennifer of Celtic Knot Crochet, and today in this video I'm going to show you how to make a pom-pom sheep ornament. In this video I'll show you how to make this pom-pom using Clover's pom-pom maker, and then I'll also show you how to crochet the little sheep head or cut it out of felt. So let's get started. Let's go over the supplies you'll need for this project. First, you'll need the Clover pom-pom maker, and this is size large, and you'll see that 2 pom-pom makers come in this kit. You'll also need a good amount of medium weight acrylic yarn. I used Red Heart Super Saver. I got the jumbo skein, so this makes lots and lots of pom-poms. And then you'll also want some medium weight acrylic black yarn if you want to make your sheep the same color as mine. You'll need a 3.75 millimeter crochet hook if you're going to crochet the head, and then you'll need a tapestry needle and some very sharp scissors for cutting the yarn once you're making the pom-pom. Now there is a second option for this project. This one right here is the crocheted face or crocheted head, and then this one here is made with felt. So if you don't want to make the crocheted version, you just need a small amount of black felt. You need to print out the template from CelticKnotCrochet.com on my blog, and the link will be in the description below. And then you need, for all your sheep, 6 millimeter googly eyes. But remember, these googly eyes are not safety eyes, so you don't want to give this to a child under 3 as a toy. If you're making it for someone as a toy, then you should embroider the eyes using yarn or use safety eyes. So let me show you how to make the pom-pom. Want to say a thank you to Clover for sending along this great gadget, and if you'd like to purchase one, you can find a link to purchase this gadget in the description below. So to make the pom-pom, you want to use one of these pom-pom makers. They work the same way, it's just one turns out larger. So we'll use the smaller one today. Open up the package. There are actually, in this insert right here, there are directions, but I'll just show you how to use it right now. This pom-pom maker, just like the larger one, opens. So this here is called, I like to call it an arch, and there are 2 sets of arches. You could see there are 2 on one side and 2 on the other. And if you like photo tutorials, you can see a photo tutorial of how to use this gadget on my blog at CelticKnotCrochet.com. So in order to start, you want to make sure that the gadget is together, so you can see how it pulls apart. You want to put the pin inside the hole and make sure everything's all nice and lined up like this, and you'll start on one side with your yarn, and you just wrap it. And after you've wrapped it a few times, you don't have to hold the end, it'll stay in place. And when you're wrapping, you want to make sure that you don't have the yarn do this. You don't want the yarn to go over those feet. I'm calling these feet at the bottom of the arches. And the more you wrap, the fuller your pom-pom will be. So I went around about 80 times. You could go around 100 or however many you want, as long as you can still close the gadget. So there, I've gone around several times. It's nice and thick, the wrapping, and then the feet below do not have any yarn going across. And you want to make sure that you carry the yarn so you end near these feet, and you're going to push these arches in towards the center circle and just leave it right there like that. It rests in place, and then you'll take the yarn. I was going through the feet like this, and then you're going to wrap the other side in the same manner. All right, so now you can see I've wrapped the second set of arches. I check the feet, there's no yarn going across, and then I close it in towards that center circle. And I'll cut off the yarn like so. And what I like to do before I do the next step is I like to cut a nice long piece, 12 to 18 inches, and just set it aside so that's ready when I'm ready. And now you're going to take your sharp scissors and put them in between the arches like so. Hold the arches firmly in your hand, and you're going to cut all the yarn. This is why you need nice sharp scissors. Makes it easier on you and gives you nice clean edges for your pom-pom. And you'll do this all the way around the gadget on both arches. And that's what it will look like on one side. And I rotate it around, and I'll do the same thing on this side, being careful to hold the arches down. And I look through and just make sure all the yarn is cut. I can see one little piece of yarn here. I want to make sure that's cut. And I see it's all cut there. Now I'm going to take that length of yarn and wrap it around the gadget, going inside the channels that the arches create. And this is going into the center of the pom-pom, and I tie a knot and then I pull really tight, and you can't see that piece of yarn anymore because it's down inside the channel. And I'm going to do another overhand knot like that and pull nice and tight. So here comes the fun part. You're going to peel back the arches like this, 1, 2, and then the other side. Open those up like this. And now you're going to pull apart, holding each side of that center circle. Pull apart, and it reveals your pom-pom. Isn't that cute? And of course you can see a few ended up a little bit longer, so I just trim those, give it a haircut like so. Makes it all nice and evened up. And I like to use this same yarn that we use to tie the pom-pom. I do one of these kind of knots. I think this is technically an overhand knot like that with both pieces. Put a nice knot there, trim the top so it's even, and now I have the hanger all set to go. So if you wanted to make a sheep like this one without using crochet, like I mentioned, there'll be a template at celticknotcrochet.com that you can print out. It's a free PDF. Print it out, cut it out, and then you can use that to cut out the sheep head shape. You could see it's felt. And then I just used a hot glue gun to glue that on, and I made sure that it was right in the center in line with the hanger. Now if you'd like to make the crocheted version of the little head, then you'll need, as I mentioned before, 3.75 millimeter crochet hook, a small amount of medium weight acrylic yarn, and you'll also need a tapestry needle, and you'll also need the hot glue gun and the googly eyes. Instead of showing you with the black, since it's very hard to see, I'm going to show you how to make the head with bigger hook and different colored yarn. So to start off, you're going to chain 4, this up, and you're going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook and into the next 2 chains. So now you have a small little section that's 3 single crochets long. You're going to chain 1 and turn, and now you're going to work 2 single crochets into the first stitch, 1, 2, and then 1 in the center, and then 2 in the last one. So if you remember how to do a single crochet, you put your hook in, yarn over, pull through the stitch, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And I'm going to do 2 in there. So now I have 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in my small little project piece. Chain 1, and now I turn. Now I'm going to decrease. So I had 3, then I increased to 5, and now I'm going to go back down to 3, and this is how you decrease. You put your hook in, yarn over, pull through the loop, then I put my hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. I have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And then I'm going to single crochet in the middle stitch again, once, and then I'll do that decrease again. It's also called a single crochet 2 together. Hook in, yarn over, pull up a loop, hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Then I'm going to chain 1, turn, and now I'm back to 3 stitches. Going to put my hook into the first one, pull up a loop, hook into the next one, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, and pull through all 3. So I just did a decrease in those first 2, and now I'm going to put my hook into this one that I already worked into. Put my hook in there and do another decrease. Yarn over, pull up a loop, hook into the last stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And that gives me a nice shape to the head, as you can see right here, where it's smaller on top, a little wide here, and then it gets smaller on the bottom. So the last step is adding these ears. This is the top. When we finish this section, this is actually the bottom of the head, and we started at the top. So we're going to do a slip stitch edging up to the top. So I'll chain 1, and then I just find any loop or stitch along the edge that works to just help me fit in a slip stitch. This gives a nice edging, plus we want to get up to the top of the head to make the cute little ears. So here I am just below row 1, and I'm going to chain 4, and now I'm going to work in the back bar of the chain. So if you see, this is the chain, the front looks like a braid, the back has bumps in it, and I'm going to insert my hook under the second bump from my hook and do single crochets again, and I'm going to work in each of those chains. There's 3 here after I skip the first one. 1, 2, 3. You can see that gives me this nice little ear. Now I'm going to work across the top of the head with some more slip stitches. This is a nice finishing stitch, gives us a nice edging, and it helps us get to where we want to go, which is the other side of the head to make the second ear. So it's very similar to the first ear. We're going to chain 4 again, work in that back bar of the chain. 1. This time we're only going to do 2 single crochets. We're going to skip that last chain and put a slip stitch into the side of the head, and then we're going to work our way down the side of this row, these rows here, and go all the way down to the bottom row here with slip stitches, and that's it. And we fasten off And here we have 2 ears and a cute little head. Now if you'll notice, no matter what I did, I couldn't get this ear to look like this one. And I didn't want to stop and start. So what I do, I'll show you right now with some yarn and the yarn needle. I just do a little fixing of this ear. I guess if you want, you could do it with glue, but sometimes glue and yarn can be messy. So I like to do it with yarn. Now, obviously, I would use the yarn tails, these yarn tails. I wouldn't cut them off. I would use the yarn tail to do this, but I'm showing you in a different color. So you can see this ear is nice and lays naturally, but this one kind of sticks up funny. So on the back side, I'll just find some loops on the back of the head, and I go through the side of the head and then over here on the ear and go back to the side of the head. These are, and of course I would use matching thread, and I just pull that ear down a little bit like so. And then another shaping thing that you can do is you can do a running stitch along the back side of the sheep head, just under the ears, and give the head a little more definition or depth by running along the back side like so, and I pull it tight, and that just gives a little more dimension to the head. You can see here. And that's all there is to it. Then I would take this head, and with my hot glue gun, just like I did for the felt, I would glue the head right on to the pom-pom and glue the 2 eyes, and there I have a cute little pom-pom sheep ornament. So I hope you enjoyed making this project. I hope you enjoyed learning how to use the pom-pom maker and decorating your Christmas tree with these cute little guys. Make sure to give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to click to subscribe and watch the next Christmas video. Thanks for watching.